Hey everyone, it's Ride 1940 here. Today we're taking a look at Sea Power Naval Combat in the Missile Age, and this is the High North 1968. It's a scenario that comes with the game. It was added in one of the later patches that have just came out, and we're going to take a look at it because it's ASW centered. So let's take a look at our briefing here. It's pretty good. So not like the nice realistic layout, kind of tells you the story of what's going on. Apparently this Yankee SSBN is set sail and is heading down to Point Charlie at some point, and we are the only NATO ship in the area, the Joseph P. Kennedy Jr., and we've got some help from a few P-2H Neptunes. So we're going to try and prosecute Point Charlie and figure out where this guy is and kill him. Now the Soviets have also set sail, but they through back channels have told the US that they think that this guy's rogue and that we're going to have problems because he wants to fire at the eastern seaboard of the United States. Right now the weather is absolutely crap. Got new flash message, so SOSUS contact north of the Faroe Islands and 9:31 Zulu, so about 30 minutes ago. SOSUS reports intermittent twin screw tonals, assess highly likely that this is contact of the Yankee class, so guy that we're looking for. Proceed to datum A01 and conduct active search, locate and destroy contact, then await further orders. Alright. So, cool, it's actually on the map, that's good. I was not gonna try and figure out the Latin long there, that would have been way too annoying. Alright, let's take a look at, let's make this bigger. Can this... I wonder if this works. No. I really, for like a quality of life thing for the game, is whatever offset that I put in for my 3D view on the unit to just stay that way, so that way I can see my unit and expand the map and look at it that way. Okay, back to this here. We want to know how big this datum is, first of all. Let's kind of move that over there, if I can grab it, if I can grab it, if I can grab it. Kind of looks center-ish. Alright, let's call that like essentially like 15 nautical miles, I guess. And then we've got our, what is this, the 23? Yeah, the 23 hull mounted, active range 13 kilometers. This really should be in yards. This thing 5. Trying to figure out if we're gonna do an active search. Actually, let's check our sensors here. Yep. We kind of just want to. Yeah, let me take. Let's say 5 nautical miles there. Now we're not going to be able to like perfectly cover this whole area. We're just going to try our best. Do 100% search, it's just going to take way too much time. We'll come up this way, come back down. So all I'm doing here is kind of just saying we're not going to get 5 nautical mile range, but that's just what I'm using for my spacing. Because I believe if the contact was in that 5 nautical miles, he'd be maneuvering, so there's a chance that we're going to get some sort of detection. Even if our active sonar is not detecting him outright, he might close us at some point while we traverse that track, and then maybe get him at a closer range. So I think this is good enough. Yeah, so that should cover that bit. We got the plane. Let's make sure they've got tasking to head out this way. Is he just... Okay, he is moving. I thought he was like hovering in space. Like, what the heck's going on? Let's bring it up to 30,000. He's got his radars on. That's good. Oh man, this guy has no torpedoes. That sucks. Okay, I'm gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way with ASROCs, hopefully. So this mission was made by Ian, who's made the Pacific Strike series missions. He is now part of the Sea Power team, so it's awesome. He makes great missions, and this is one of his. Alright, we're gonna let's speed this up so once we get into that datum. Now remember, the datum is like, he's not in the middle of that, right? The datum is just kind of general area from what we got from our intelligence from SOSUS. So he's roughly around here. He could be all the way over here, he could be up there, he could be over here, he could be really close to us. Alright, we need to now, maybe we'll get a little closer. Let's tempt fate. So with the weather being this crappy, the acoustic ranges are going to be really bad. Alright, and let's, this is one of my favorite updates. Well, this theme thing I really enjoy, and this came out a few patches ago. Good to see that. Alright, we got let's take a look at our weapon systems here. For those that don't know, these guys carry the Mark 32 triple torpedo tube launchers, so those carry the Mark 46 torpedoes, and then we got the ASROCs. Oh, another update here. We've got indicate the Soviet Northern Fleet units getting underway from Murmansk. Soviet back channels informed us that these units are also attempting to intercept the Yankee SSBN. A Victor-class SSN is in the area and must not be taken under fire under any circumstances. Positive ID on subsurface contacts is absolutely a requirement before engagement. That's really cool. I really like that in the scenario because a lot of people like to say ASW is easy in the game, and it can be if you're just blindly firing at things, but if there's a consequence to blindly firing at things like this, then it makes it a little harder because you do have to spend the time and identify everything. So let's take a look at our range here. 7 nautical miles. Alright, we'll keep that over here. So we're going to slow down, we'll take a peek, go active. We'll speed up a little bit and we'll get back into that circle and conduct our search again. So remember, as we speed up, our detection range is going to drop off. Oh, we've got a new radar contact. What is that? Where is that? Oh, there we go. Semi-large, what are you? Can't communicate, alright. Alright, we'll speed this guy up, get him into the... Oh! Very small active return. This is dangerous now, holy crap. Ooh, we have a few contacts over here. Very small. Alright, this guy is fading away. We want to do this really quick. So these guys potentially are whales. So they seem to be traveling together, but they're not fully doing the same. 14 knots, yep, and then this guy is 12 knots. Depth of 15 feet. This guy's down at 450 feet. Oh, this is interesting. 12 feet. So that's pretty shallow. We'll keep an eye on it. 12 and 14 knots. Course 127. Okay. Speed this up, see what happens. Oh, we got some more over here. My goodness. Alright. So let's move this kind of close to that, and then kind of close to this. So this guy's going 5 knots at 282 for his depth. This guy's... Wow, that... Was this guy the one that was deep, or was he near the surface initially? Huh, that's interesting. The speed is down to 10 knots. Alright. Speed up. What is this guy doing? 12 knots at 127. We are getting an active return off of him. So I'm trying to listen under here if I can pick up the whale songs, because it's kind of a way that you would identify that there's a whale, and they do actually they do sing like in the game, which is really, really cool. But I don't think that if you were to look at information, there would be anything that signified that your crew heard whale noises, so it's like one of these things you just manually have to do yourself. Ooh, active and passive. Yeah, so the sonar operators would be pretty good about, if you heard a whale singing, you would know, right? You would absolutely know what that is. You don't need to interpret that. "14 knots near the surface." Okay, cool. They know. See, that's the noise. So that's good. It is pretty cool that these guys are like very much changing their depths pretty erratically. We'll call this a whale. One thing is biologics like whales and stuff do not go in straight lines like this, but that's just a minor thing. Nature doesn't like straight lines in their life forms. Alright, we will... Yep, that was classified as a whale. Good. That's so cool. I gotta have one story about whales. Well, I have a few, but this one I'll tell right now is... When I was on the DDG, we would go active, and... it's kind of interesting because some of the sailors wouldn't know what that sounded like, and there was one night that we were going active for some sort of exercise, and I think I was walking up to sonar control, and DDG's is like way forward and below a few decks, and as I'm coming up towards the front part of the ship on the main deck, there's this area called I think it's forward pallet staging, and some ships they'll use that as like a gym area, a small sort of gym area underway. And there was a guy that was working out there, and he took his headphones off as I was passing by, and he's like, he heard the active sonar, but he stopped me and he said, "Hey, is that a whale?" I almost lost it, because it's like, if you can imagine some sort of noise kind of like this pinging away, and it's in a really set interval. I don't know how you can listen to that and be like, that's a whale. But he thought that was a whale song. I was like, no man, whales don't sing like every X amount of seconds at exactly the same frequency. Are you crazy? But yeah, some people. If this was like a training scenario though, and we were going active and we picked up whales, like we would have to stop going active. The Navy does take that very seriously. And I've seen whole strike groups, Comp 2X is like a composite exercise that it's like a dress rehearsal for deployment essentially, and it could last 3 to 4 weeks. And you know what? I want this guy to go check out this plane. And I've seen the whole strike group, just all of us stop doing an ASW scenario because we thought we detected whales on the underwater telephone. So they do take that very seriously. Okay, so we're going to split this up. Now that we have the air unit on board, we can go ahead and we'll drop some SSQs, 53s, those are the dive-fire sonobuoys. And I'm just going to drop a line down like that. Oops. Let me go ahead and do it this way. Oops. That's good enough. Drop another one around there, maybe there. Oh, you know what? I think I'm more interested in knowing. Well, I was thinking initially we'd split it up, but you know what? I'm more interested in knowing what's ahead of the Kennedy. So we'll plop a few sonobuoys out ahead, and then they can go ahead and come through here. Add a few. So these sonobuoys I think only last 1 hour, which is too bad. Let's go, what's the local time? 10 a.m. Alright. Oh, sweet. Okay, that's a submarine. That's a good drop there. We'll manipulate this one to kind of put it close enough ahead of it. Oh, that is so good. We got really lucky there. Noise. Oh, this must be... That must be the friendly Soviet sub. Oh, I say friendly, but the non-combatant one that's going to be the victor that we're not supposed to shoot at. So we'll just watch that. I do want to maintain contact with it, but obviously it's not the threat. I want to maintain contact on it just for my own awareness, so I'm not going to there we go. So I'm not going to accidentally shoot at the victor when we're not supposed to be doing that. Alright. So this looks promising. Okay, I can clean up my mess over here. Don't care about the whales anymore. That's good. We get rid of these marks. Okay, cool. And this guy as well. Alright, hopefully we get a good understanding of what this guy is. He is... oops. That is the hostile submarine, okay. He's going 10 knots at 290 feet. Alright, well, this is good. We can close him. So I'm putting a course in front of him, kind of as a lead geometry. And then we're going to go fire up the boilers, go full speed on the turbines, and head over there as fast as possible. I want to get within ASROC range so we can throw a torpedo right on his head. Hopefully he doesn't detect us, but we'll monitor him with the sonobuoys to make sure that's the case. You know what, let's see if we can even get a mad hit on this dude. We're getting pretty close to him. Yeah, we'll just continually mad search him. What does this guy have? He has... Oh, does he not have a mad thing? Thought that's what that was. Alright, well, maybe he does and it's just not listed. Okay. So the Kennedy is hauling butt, 30 knots in the storm. That is pretty good. That's pretty good. Be smashing about the waves up and down. That'd be very uncomfortable. 14 knots. So we're just going to keep monitoring him. What we want to keep our eyes on is what the guy's doing. So his depth, and then we want to know course or speed changes, and we want to know the closest sonobuoys to them, so we can judge when they drop off with the range. That will give us a good estimate of the ranges at the moment in the game. So if he was to fade away right now and I saw him doing 20 knots, then I would think that, holy crap, we've got really bad ranges, but my range, if he's super loud, is going to be 0.75 nautical miles, right? So this just gives us context to when we think we should expect contact, or when we should expect the contact to fade out and drop away. So we're monitoring him. He's speeding up to 20 knots, and I'm wondering if he's going to point us immediately if he knows where we're at. So we're 20 nautical miles away. It is pretty stormy out, and I think he might be pointing us. We've got a sonobuoy here, so we'll know if he does fire at us. I need to bring up the Yankee submarine and the unit reference to check what he's got for his missiles, or his torpedoes. Alright, so 5365, that's the Wakehomer. That's the guy that goes 10.7 nautical miles, 10.3. Set 65s are the anti-submarine ones, so we're not going to worry about that. And this guy is another anti-submarine one, huh? Okay. Interesting. Oh, that is so cool. Look at that. Man. Well, we will monitor this guy. It's 20 knots. He is hauling. I mean, it kind of seems like he is pointing us. He's a little off though. He's kind of going this way. We're down here. You know what we can do is we can kind of do an end around sort of thing. Yeah, we'll come out this way. We'll see if he's going to continue to point us. I don't think he is. I think he's just got that set for his course. It's just a little peculiar. He's hauling butt because, oh, now there's subsurface contact here. Let's go check this one out. Oh, this is probably a whale. Yeah. Depth's changing a lot. It's going about 12 knots. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that's a whale, not chase after it. Okay, let's speed this up. We need to watch the range here. I think it's 8 nautical miles, was it? 6 nautical miles. Probably another whale. Yep. That's pretty cool. I mean, the whales, I think, are such a great touch. The first time I encountered them, I was just absolutely very happy to see that in the game. They do add a complication, but they're quick enough to. It's quick. It doesn't bother you too much. It just adds like another element to the game. Man, I was off the coast of, I think it was San Diego one time. We were pulling in. This is on the frigate, and there's a buoy called like 1SD, and that's, I think, the entry buoy into the channel, and kind of line up on that, and you go into the San Diego Bay, and we're kind of getting really close to entering the channel, right off the coast of the tip of Point Loma. And we were doing line handlers. I was back aft as a line 6 captain because all the sonar techs were on line 6. And I remember seeing, I think it was a blue whale, kind of come up on the starboard side a few hundred yards away. And it just kept coming straight at us. And we're all back aft here, and we're kind of looking at it, and it's just slowly coming towards us, popping up a little bit, coming back down. Eventually we start to get nervous, so we call the bridge from the flight deck. There's a little, in the hangar, I think that's where the phone talker guy was. And so they phone up to the bridge and say, hey, do you see this whale coming down the starboard side right abeam of us? And they're like, yeah, we're tracking it. And at this point, we're like in the channel, so you can't really maneuver too much because there are other, there's pleasure craft and other commercial vessels around. And this whale comes up to about here, and we're all on the fantail. We just are leaning over the lifelines right now watching this stupid thing. And then it goes right underneath the ship, amidships. And we're kind of bracing for a slight impact, and we don't feel anything. They pass up to the bridge, the whale went underneath us, and then immediately we run back after the fantail over here, and we're just looking down at the prop wash, kind of grimly expecting to see, bloody mess or something, because unfortunately whales, they don't understand the dangers of ships. So if they cross underneath the ship, oftentimes the ship is still going, so you'll see some whales that'll have these nasty scars on their back from getting cut up from the props, unfortunately. So we're expecting that to happen. And then he popped up on the other side, on the port side, completely clean, and thank goodness he wasn't cut up at all. Would have felt really bad, because a lot of sailors just love ocean life just because you're immersed in it and you're around it when you sail. So you never want to see sea life get hurt, especially at the hands of your own vessel. That was a good outcome. Alright, we are 12 nautical miles away. He's slowed down to 5 knots. So this is interesting. So passively we're detecting him as he's going 5 knots at 450 feet, and it's a 1.5 nautical mile range. So we're going to watch him to see where he drops off at, and then we'll throw another buoy in front of him. He's changing course. Yep, there we go. One thing I need to see here is what the depth is for the layer. So 257 feet is the layer depth around where we're at. So we can kind of roughly estimate that's probably like that up there as well. Alright, he's turning away. 13.5 knots. Alright, at this point, I'm convinced he doesn't know where we're at. If he launched torpedoes at us, we would have detected them on that buoy. So it's not like he's shot and he's turned away. So at this point, I want to take the opportunity now, as he's turned away from us a little bit, to kind of sprint ahead, try to close the distance, and if we can get underneath 6 nautical miles, we could fire a ASROC at this guy. Once again, we're keeping an eye on the other submarine up there, the Victor. It's still within detection range. Man, these guys are hauling butt. 20 knots for the Victor over there. Yankee, it's at 13.5. We'll see if they increase their speeds. Yeah, it looks like they might be coming up in speed. Maybe they'll go up to 20 knots. Who knows? Course is still changing. They're at 15 knots now. Depth's pretty steady at 450 feet. Alright, well, hopefully we can... Hopefully, we can close them. I'm not sure how great that'll be, because if there's only like a 10 knot differential, if he's going 20 knots and we're going 30 knots, the closure rate's going to be pretty slow. This is the thing about nuclear submarines and diesel submarines. If you can imagine a diesel boat being limited by battery, they can't sprint like this. Nuke boats obviously can sprint to their heart's content, obviously, and the trade-off is that they're going to increase their noise. So they don't necessarily want to do that, but they can do that if they need to just build space and run away. Alright, he's at 15 knots. Still changing course, he's just doing circles now. That's pretty good. We got a cross layer detection here. We're above the layer. Yeah, it looks like the layer around here is 300 feet. And so we're detecting him underneath the layer. But he's going really fast, so he's probably pretty loud. And it's about almost 2 nautical mile range, 1.8 nautical miles. This is good. We're just going to have to keep maneuvering this thing to close. We're at 11 nautical miles now. We need to get to 6, I think I said. This guy is 8 nautical mile range if we want to do over the side shot. Don't necessarily want to do that because this guy is just constantly maneuvering right now. I'd prefer if I could close the distance to drop a couple of ASROCs on him. Then he's not going to know that torpedoes are on the way until they're actually in the water. Versus an over the side shot, they're going to be able to see the bearing that you shot at. You shot at them from, and then they're going to see that it's running out, so they might get early detection on it and be able to avoid it. ASROCs are nicer because you can just kind of throw it down on these guys' head. So let's take a look at that. Yep, this is probably the whale. Yep, that's good. So this depth fluctuating like this, I think is totally acceptable. You know, I was saying I don't like that the whales are always in a straight line for their course. As long as you got something like this to show you that it is constantly changing direction or depth, I think that's totally fine. To give you some indication that that is a biologic. Yeah, this is such a cool addition. I love this so much. It's so freaking cool. Okay, he's probably doing this turn. He's gonna come towards us. We might want to slow down. Oh, you know what? We're nearly there. We're gonna go for broke. All right, I'm gonna want to drop sonobuoy right over here. I'm anticipating this guy to just go in circles here, so we'll get another buoy out to keep contact on him if he maneuvers up northward away from us when he gets shot at with the ASROC. We're getting so close. About 2 nautical miles left, and then we can fire off a couple. And that is like my favorite weapon system to use in the game. They're just so cool to see this box launcher. They're broken up in like 4 segments here, so you'll see like this row tilt upward and then fire the torpedo, or the rocket boosted torpedo. Alright, hopefully this guy can get his sonobuoy out. So at this point we are in, you know, a threat area, right? Because we said that this guy has the 5365, so the Yankee can fire those waycoming torpedoes. We're within range of that. They're within 10 nautical miles, 10.3 I think I said earlier. So 7.3 nautical miles out, he's already got some weapons in range with us. And we could fire over the side right now. We could perfectly do that, but I'm just not going to waste one of those shots. We got 16 RUR-5 ASROC rockets, so we're going to use a couple of them. Okay, 6.9 nautical mile range. Let's do a check here. The Victor is staying around that sonobuoy, so we still got ID on that dude. This guy's having a hard time. Just come on, dude, you can do it. Alright. 6.6. So close. I think we'll salvo 2 at this guy. We'll see what happens. Alright, now slow down, reduce our noise. So the reason I'm not too worried about him shooting at us is we've got a sonobuoy there that's probably going to detect any torpedo launches, and he's just maneuvering in kind of a circle. So if you're watching the target's behavior, you can infer if they know where you're at or not, right? So because he's just still going on in these circles, I'm not concerned that he knows where I'm at, and even more so now that I've slowed down to 6 knots in this terrible weather. He's probably not going to detect me unless I'm very close, like within a few nautical miles. So we've got some distance that we can close and still be safe from firing, but it doesn't matter because he's now crossing that line into this red circle, which signifies the range of our ASROCs. So we can fire on him at max range here. There we go. Alright, let's take a look at this. Alright, we've got to come around and we're going to unmask the launcher. Fire off 2 ASROCs. We'll watch them fly. Ah, that's so awesome. When you're riding on a ship and they like go hard to port or hard to starboard, it's awesome. Yeah, there we go. That's what we want to see. Booster drops off. That's so cool. Oh man, we are in the clouds. I can't see anything. Well, let's just see how close this gets. Alright, they are still flying in the air. Yeah, those torpedoes are like right on top of each other. There we go. On station. Oh, wow. There's that P2. Okay, looks like they're astern. Let's see if we can find where that Yankee went. Oh, wow, right there. Are we gonna get... Oh, we're... Yes. Oh, this is so perfect. Oh, man. Yes. Oh, that is so glorious. Oh, man. Okay, so now we just want to watch contact speed stop. See if they have depth control. Ooh, classified hostile torpedo. Where's that? Oh, I see. Okay. I'm curious if that was like a blind fire, if they actually detected us. So we're gonna go head flank and kick out a noisemaker. We'll just... I mean, if we look at this here... Let's pause this. This will be a good training opportunity for you guys here. So what I want to do is... we want to know when we're safe, right? So... we kind of just watch the bearing line or the course line for the torpedo. It's kind of going this way. And we said that they can go 10.3, was it, nautical miles? So this is roughly it here. Because we know the starting launch point. So either we can run out that way, or we can run all the way beyond this point, then we know we're fully safe. Because these are wakecombers, if the torpedo stays on this side, you notice we're already on the port side of that. and we're going to continue to turn to port. There's a chance they may never detect our wake, so we can just run out. You can also do a 10.3 nautical mile bubble, like the circle thing, just to tell you all the directions where your safe zone is. As long as you're outside of that circle, you're good. We will also just fire a counterfire at this asshole for firing torpedoes at us. So yeah, I was curious if he actually detected us and he fired at us that way because he slowed down, or if that was a counterfire to our ASROC shot, which he wouldn't be able to determine what bearing to shoot at because the ASROC's, there's no telling where that thing was fired from. It just falls into the water from the sky. So if that was like an automatic response, then that would be incorrect. But it's likely that his damage slowed him down to the point where he was able to see us. But you can see here that sonobuoy allowed us to detect those launches like immediately. So we got plenty of time because it's 4 nautical miles away to run away. So I think we're good. You know what? Let's see if we can give him one more parting gift here. Yeah. Well, it just doesn't get old. I freaking love this game. Sweet. Well, he can deal with that. Yeah, so you can see the difference here. The Mark 46 running out from our over-the-side counterfire. It's just going to take a tremendous amount of time, and if he's slow, he's likely going to hear it eventually and maneuver and react with his noisemakers. At the moment, this ASROC is about to fall on his head, and he has no idea it's coming, right, because it's just in the air. And we'll see if we get another lucky hit. Those 2 other prior shots were absolutely great. They entered the water with enough time for the torpedoes to acquire the submarine and just go straight at it, which was really good. Sometimes you might get unlucky and they might fall after something and they got to go into a big circle search and just kind of takes forever, and then eventually if they miss, the submarine becomes aware and starts kicking out noisemakers and makes it a little bit trickier. So we'll see how this one does. Oh, right there, look at that. We'll see if we can come up in time. We might not be able to. Oh. Yep. Not looking good there. Yeah, see, we got pretty lucky on the last 2 shots. This should be... That sub should be hurting pretty bad having 2 shots so close to each other. Alright, we'll just monitor. Curious what his reaction is going to be when he detects the... Alright, we really need to get another sonobuoy out ahead of this guy. Alright, let's see if we get lucky with this. This is our over the side counterfire shot. Just waiting for the submarine to come out of the abyss here. I can't remember if the I was looking at this because I can't remember if the war shots had these. I think these are supposed to be like counterweights or something. On the Rex torps, like the recoverable exercise torpedoes, they're like Mark 46 lookalikes, but they have these weight packs on them. So once the run is over, they just basically drop the weights and flow back to the surface, and I think some bag deploys or something like that, so you can recover it and then repack it basically and use it again. And I was wondering if those were supposed to be weights or not. Oof. Wow. Well, that was a big hit up forward now. Okay. So we got another weapon out there. That ASROC shot is circling around. Let's see if it finally gets lucky. It looks like it is leading the Yankee. Yankee's coming out this way. We got a Sonobui in front of the Yankee, so that's good. The Yankee's going pretty slow now. Alright, let's go ahead and point the Yankee. Slow down. Pretty confident that those Waycomers are not going to be able to track us. She is aggressively trying to climb now. Looks like she's trying to get up to the surface. Still going 5 knots. Yeah, it looks like that ASROC shot is coming around pretty good. 0.75 nautical miles and closing. Yeah, these things, these take quite a few torpedoes. It's pretty crazy. Still got the Victor over there. That's good. New active contact. What do we got? Oh, probably got the whale or something. Oh no, we got so close and then it's pulling away from the Yankee. Damn. Alright, this guy's come to the surface essentially. He's at periscope depth. See if he's going to release any lifeboats. He's just kind of chilling there. Do we need to fire another ASROC at this dude? Oh, are we going to get lucky? Oh, I think so. I see it. I see the outline there. Man, this game is just so cool. Looking at a damaged submarine about to get pummeled on with another Mark 46. I gotta tell you, there's like no game where you can control different types of ASW assets all in some battle space of the whole world. So that's really fun. And to see this in like beautiful 3D graphics. This dude just got clobbered with 4. Oh man. Alright. Okay, they report loud undersea detonations northwest of the Faroe Islands. Yep, that was us. Assess the contact as a rogue SSBN breaking up after the attack. National Technical Intelligence sources report stand down of the Soviet Northern Fleet. And they congratulate us on a job well done. Proceed south at best speed to Faslane. Good work, Commander. Freaking sweet. I'm curious to see what's up on the surface here. I was going to say if there was lifeboats, maybe we'd go up there and rescue them, but it doesn't look like it, so let me go ahead and... there we go. Alright, yeah, cool. So, decisive victory. We killed the submarine. Our ship survived, of course. Oh, you know what? I didn't realize that was an option for us. Is that true? No way. Oh, what a waste. I could have been trying out this stupid drone. Ah, well, man. You know what it was? In one of the other patches in the was it months ago, they had added the drone to the Japanese ships, I think. But they weren't on the American ships just yet, so that must have happened at some point, maybe this last big patch. So I didn't even think to look at that, but that's a shame, because I probably would have preferred to use this over the ASROC, as cool as the ASROCs are, because then we could just get some range out there and drop a weapon on the dude. In fact, I'm not sure what the range is on this. I assume it's got to be better than 6 nautical miles, though. We'll have to give that a try. I can't remember if I used that on the Japanese ships months ago. But yeah, this is, what was it? Operation High North by Ian. It's a standard mission that comes with the game now, so you don't need to download anything off the workshop. You just give it a try. I really like this. It's a simple ASW mission in terrible weather, so you kind of get to get close with a submarine. You get an opportunity to use the ASROCs if you want. In fact, I think I saw somebody on the Sea Power Discord complaining about not being able to use the ASROCs, and honestly, if you are in a scenario with high-end submarines and high-end vessels, you're likely never going to get the opportunity to use an ASROC. You're probably going to use your helicopters and your towed array sensors to kind of detect something at range and use aircraft to kill the submarine. That's the ideal way, right? Because you want to just stay away from the enemy submarine. However, if you do scenarios like this, you play older vessels, maybe the weather conditions are just absolutely appalling, you might get the opportunity to close within range of 6 nautical miles, and if you do, then you can use your ASROCs. And I think someone was also talking about over the side that's better because it's got more range, and it is true, it does have more range, right? It's got 8 nautical miles over the 6, but like I said earlier, it takes a while for those torpedoes to get out there, and they do get out there because we were successful. Our over the side counter fire did hit the Yankee. Actually, it hit it before the ASROC, but depending on the ASROC shot, if you get a good water entry point, there's little to no time for that submarine to react to what's happened to it, right? Those first 2 hits that we had on the Yankee back aft here, those ASROCs, the Mark 46s, entered the water, and within like seconds they were locked onto the submarine and heading straight at it. So there's no way that guy could maneuver away from it or do anything else about it. So if you get lucky with the water entry point, it's a amazing weapon system because the guy doesn't know it's coming until it's too late. So yeah, definitely think about using your ASROCs, and of course don't worry about one of the things we were talking about earlier. Don't worry about being in the range of a submarine. Okay, if you're within torpedo range, it's kind of contextual, right? You don't necessarily need to worry about it if you know that the ranges are just so bad that they can't fire at you, or if you can offset the risk by putting some sonobuoys around it, so if you do get shot at, and you can get a really accurate picture of that range that you need to run out to be safe from their torpedo fire. So that kind of gives you some options, because the ship has a speed over the submarine, and you want to use that to give yourself time and distance, so that you can have more time to plan like a counterfire or an attack or a deliberate attack. Or if you have more distance, you can run away from the enemy torpedo, and then you can kind of reassess the situation and figure out ways to reset the scenario, because if you've been fired at, you've kind of lost the initiative at that point, right? So you want to get away, build some space, circle back. You can go faster than the guy, so you can end around him if you need to, and then kind of come at it at a different angle and try and get him again. So that's the ship's speed is what you want to play to, and in terrible weather like this, it's pretty good. Of course, your sensors are really degraded when you go high speed, so you do have to slow down periodically and take a look, kind of see what's out there, or use other assets like your air assets, and then you should be good to go. So this is a great scenario if you want to practice ASW on a target. It plays really well. I don't like missions where this one is done really well because you've got a datum. And so you generally have an area that you know that you need to search, and it can be kind of big. 15 nautical miles is not small for a ship, for one single ship. But I don't like missions where they'll just use the gap or something and say, yeah, there's a submarine crossing somewhere in there, go find it. It's like that is an impossible task. Okay, even if you had a bajillion assets, if you didn't even know where to even look at the very start, it would just be happenstance that you came across them in a search pattern. So, and that could take days, right? So those scenarios are not fun. Using datums and realistically produced datums, like in the scenario, we had the SOSUS alert us, and it was time late, so it wasn't perfect. So we got this kind of big circle that we need to search in. So that was great. Once again, that is High North by Ian. Go ahead, go check it out. It's a fun mission. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.